Hi guys, so today I thought it would be kind of fun to do a summery makeup look. In the summers I don't wear a ton of makeup. I do wear a little bit of foundation, light eyeshadow, a little bit of bronzer and some highlight, but nothing like I do during the winter where I wear like a full eye most of the time, like really dark eyeshadows. So I just kind of wanted to show you what I do for the summer months. What I do is I usually will spray my face with some kind of primer in the morning, which is going to be today the Urban Decay Quench Fix, which I think is a really good primer. Even though I have oily skin, it still helps to give my face moisture. And even though, like I said, I have oily skin, I still need that extra moisture just to make sure that my face doesn't get super dry. So I always do that. And then I've been using a really good sunblock. This is a 50% sunblock, and it is this sunblock here that I've been using. I'll focus in on it. There we go. So I just take a little bit of this, put some in my hand. I mean, I don't go over the top because the foundation that I'm going to be using also has sunblock. I rub it on my hands and then I just rub it all over my face. Then I'll go in with my regular everyday type of primers. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one from Cover FX today, which is the Blur Primer Base. It's just kind of tinted in a little bit. It's kind of a little tinted, but I'm going to use that all over my face. Everywhere where I'm going to be putting foundation and any kind of makeup, you want to put a primer there. If you don't know what primers do, primers just kind of hold on to your foundation, hopefully make them last a little bit longer throughout the day, especially since I have oily skin. Usually in my T-zone, it will help to put a primer there. And it just kind of makes your foundation go on a little bit more smoothly. Just kind of smooths out your face a little bit. Alright, so after that, then I'll go on with a pore filling primer. Today I'm just going to use a little sample that I got from The Professional. So it looks like this. You can get this in a bigger bottle, and it's about $30, I think. So this is also a flesh tone color. And what I normally do is just dab it in the areas where I have, you know, pretty big pores, and I want to get those kind of taken care of. So I just dab it in those areas and just kind of press it into my face there. And then you could also put it in like any lines that you may have, because a pore filler actually will kind of smooth the lines that you may have, like, you know, under your eyes here, like crow's feet or anything like that. And that's really nice too. It doesn't take them away, but it smooths them out a little bit. I normally wait like 5 minutes, so at this point I would go and like maybe comb my hair, do something like that, and come back and do my makeup. So everything is kind of sunk into my skin. Now again, I would go back in after the fact, spray my face one more time. And I know it's a lot of spraying of my face, but I'm wanting my makeup to stay on really well. And because I have the oily T-zone in the summer months, sometimes my makeup will just fly right off my face. So today I'm going to be using the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I'm just going to take one pump of that because it's a little bit dark for my skin. Just one little pump. You see, it's kind of a thicker foundation. And then I'm also going to take 1 to 2 pumps of the Perfect Foundation All Skin Type Coverage Medium, and then it says Non-Stop Complexion Perfection All Day Wear, and it does have a sunscreen in it of 15. So I'm just going to take 1 pump of that, and or maybe 2. I'll take 2 pumps of that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just take my clean finger and just kind of mix them in together. Now the reason why I used the one from NARS as well is because it's a little bit too dark for me by itself. But when I mix it into lighter foundations, it works for me, especially now in the summer months. So I'm just going to go ahead and just use what I have on my finger there. And then I'm going to take my damp beauty blender, grab some on there, and just start pressing this into my skin. Just kind of a light layer of it. And I always start like in the center and then press outwards. And then kind of just do like a circular motion. All right, and that's where I want my face to be. As you can see, it's still kind of dewy in a way. It will kind of start, you know, fading down to a light matte finish because of the two finishes that I use together. And that's what I kind of want. I want it to be, you know, a semi-matte foundation, but I wanted to use something that's more lightweight, something that's not super full coverage, because I am going to be putting other makeup on top, and I still want my face to be able to breathe throughout the day, and I found that both of these foundations together do that for me. Alright, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and take a concealer, and it's going to just be a light concealer from Too Faced, and it's just going to be their Born This Way concealer. I like this because it's super light. It has really nice ingredients. I'm not going to be using too much of it, just a little bit just in the corners of my eyes here to kind of cover up some of that darkness. And then I am going to put just a tiny bit just down the center of my nose, and that is it. And I'm going to just press that out. And I'm just going to drag it all the way up to the top of my eye, and then bring it all the way out to the corner of my temple. And just pounce the Beauty Blender and smooth that out as much as I can. So you can see it brings a little bit of light to the center of my face there. And then whatever is just left on the sponge from that, I'll just bring it down on my smile lines here and then down here. Same thing in the center of my nose, just kind of barely pounce that there. The reason why I put that in the center of my nose is because I want to bring more attention to the center of my nose and not the outer portion. I don't like the shape of my nose, so I feel like it's too wide. So if I put a light strip right here in the center, it will draw it in just a little bit. And then of course when I go in with my contour, it will make sure that it looks just a little bit thinner. And if you just put a little bit of concealer right here on your smile lines, it will kind of soften those edges of your face right there. You don't need too much of it, just a little bit will do it. But it does help a little bit to soften those lines and bring them up a little bit and out. Alright, so at this point I have gotten everything all on my face. All the concealer and foundation that I'm going to be using for the day, that's what I've got in there. I'm going to go ahead and let that sit. And I'm just going to take some brow gel and set my brows real quick. I always set them first and then go in with the color, and then I set them again. Alright, so we can go ahead and take some setting powder now. I'm going to try to use this little Cover FX setting powder. It's a translucent powder. And I'm just going to take the tip of my sponge. Now I know this is all repetitive for a lot of you that use makeup every single day, but I do have a lot of subscribers that don't use tons of makeup every single day, so this is why I'm doing this process. Take the part where you got the powder on your damp sponge, it's still damp from this morning, and I'm going to make this face to stretch that out. You can always go in with your finger to smooth out any lines if for some reason you've got buildup already happening in your smile lines or in your under eye lines there. And then just press that right in there to set that area. Now, why am I setting this area? I want to make sure that it's going to stay all day, even though I'm wearing kind of a lightweight foundation. I want to still make sure that that area is going to stay put. And I do get pretty oily in that area as well. So, and I also want to prevent any creasing as well. So if you go through with the powder after the fact and you just kind of, you know, pounce it into your skin, like press it into your skin in the areas where you put your highlighter, it will make sure that it won't crease throughout the day either. And I'm just going to go ahead and set that middle section as well of my nose, and then any other place that I would have put the concealer. Because it's just an extra buildup of makeup that you put on your face, it could, you know, tend to crease on you, and you don't want that throughout the day, especially in really visible areas like your under eyes and your smile lines and stuff like that. So if you just set it with a little bit of powder, translucent powder, you should be okay. Now is the fun part, the makeup part. So I'm going to go ahead and take my bronzer from Morphe. This is a Celebritant bronzer. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush like this, and I'm going to rub them both and get, you know, a good amount of both of them on there. Then I'm going to turn my face, look at my mirror here, and I want to put the bronzer right in this area here. So I'm going to make sure that it's on its side where it's facing longwards, and I'm going to just start buffing that into my skin and bringing it up here to my forehead. Now I know I don't have a really big forehead, but I'm not trying to make my forehead look smaller. I'm just trying to make it look like the sun has hit it. So normally the sun will hit your forehead area first if your hair is down. So you want to just make sure that you put this bronzer in the areas where the sun will definitely hit your face. That way it looks more natural. Don't need a lot of it. Then I just take it down my neck so everything just kind of matches as well. And you can just pounce a little bit here on the top of your nose. You don't need a lot, like I said, but you know, the sun does hit the top of your nose, so you want to just make sure that it looks like you've been at the beach all day. All right, and got a really nice tan because some of us burn at the beach, like I burn at the beach. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and take my bronzer. Not my bronzer, my contour from Tarte, which is going to be this one here in the middle. The reason why I like this contour color is because, as you can see, it has almost like a gray tone to it. It's not gray, but it has a grayer tone than my contour or than my bronzer does. So that's what I want. I want the gray tone because that's where I'm going to create the shadow on my face. So I'm going to take right here where the above my ear starts, and I'm going to bring it right here in the hollow of my cheek there. And if you don't have a hollow, you just create one. So start at the top of your ear and just bring it down just slightly, not all the way down. You don't want to bring it too far, just a little bit right there, and that will make that hollow for you in your face. You don't need to use a lot. You just want to create a shadow, and you want it to be as subtle as possible. You can't maybe see it as much as other people can. So the less that you use, the better. So the less that you use, the better. You don't need to use too much of it. Then I'm going to take my little nose contour, which is just a little tiny flat brush, and grab some of that, just as tiny as I can. And I'm just going to take that and just run it down my nose. Now I'm just going to create that shadow there on my nose to make my nose look a little bit smaller as well. This is not necessary for everybody, but I do like my nose to look smaller, so I find it to be necessary. I'm going to take my brush that I used for my bronzer. I'm just going to kind of even out those lines, that way they don't look too obvious. All right, then I'm just going to take a little bit of the white shadow in the palette, this one here, and I'm just going to take it and just run it right down the center of my nose with my finger. There we go. All right, that's all we're gonna do for contouring. Nothing too much, just enough to make it look like I have a little bit of cheekbones, and to also make it look like I've been in the sun all day. And you can just go through and, you know, how much you want or how little you want, or you don't have to use it at all. I just think it makes it look really summery. Your face looks like you've been at the beach all day, so that's why I like to do that. All right, then I'm going to take a really light colored, almost pinky color blush. I'm just going to use the one from Tarte in Genuine. No, I'm going to use the one Graceful from Tarte here. It has a little bit of glitter particles, but not over the top. I'm just going to use a little bit of that. I'm just going to just kind of tap the apples of my cheeks there. Just slightly, not too much, just a little bit, and that's all we need of that. And then at this point you can use a highlight if you want to. I'm going to just take the small golden bronze from Anastasia on a small little brush here, and I'm just grabbing a little bit of that, just lightly buffing that right here. I don't need too much, just a little bit. You can see it's just a little bit there. All right, so now that I've got my eyebrows where I want them, they're super dark, I know I went a little overboard, but it is what it is. They'll fade hopefully throughout the day. I'm gonna go ahead and take a eyeshadow primer from Urban Decay. It is the anti-age one. I like this because I'm, you know, in my 40s, and it just helps me to feel a little bit more secure about putting stuff on my face. So I just take this and just kind of rub it on my eye, and then I just take my finger and then lightly pat it into my eyelid. Eyeshadow primer is really nice, especially if you have oily lids. It will help to hopefully keep the shadow in place for you. Some people it doesn't, but most it does. So it's just I know another step throughout the day, but it does help if you do have oily skins for most people to keep the shadows from creasing, keep them more vibrant throughout the day, and last a little bit longer on your face. Alright, so I'm going to be going with a light colored eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the Soft Glam today to do that. You can use any palette that you have. And I know this doesn't look super light, but I'm going to use this anyways. I'm going to take that, again, that number 10 Pro Crease Brush from Sephora. I'm going to go in with the color Burnt Orange and Orange Soda together. So it's going to be these two colors here. So I'm just going to mix them together. And I'm going to start right in my crease and just lightly blend that up here in my crease. Just slightly above my crease as well. Alright, and with the same brush, I'm now going to take Rustic, which is going to be the brown in the palette. Again, these are colors that you can find in any palette that you have, like a really neutral type of palette. I'm just taking a little bit here on the tip of the same brush and just putting that directly in the crease. And then concentrating on the outer edge there, and then just running the rest of it just into the crease itself. I like this kind of eye look because it's super simple, super fast. I know this is taking a while because I'm filming and I'm explaining what I'm doing, but this is something that I can do really quick throughout the day. You get used to doing this process every single day for the summer months. I'm still taking Rustic, same color, and I'm just kind of placing it a little bit more on the corner of my eye and just kind of swooping it in and bringing it back up again. I'm still using the same brush. Okay, now I'm going to take that same brush again. I'm going to go into Tempera, which is going to be this color here. It's a lighter color, the lightest color in the palette. It's almost like a white color, but it has a slight sheen to it. Take a little bit here and just run that right on the bottom of my lid there, on my whole lid there. Just tap it in there. And then I'm going to take a different brush, and it's going to be the Morphe M507. It's just a tiny little pointy brush, and I'm going to take just a little bit of Fairy, which is going to be this color here. So it's just like a goldy shimmery color. Again, any color with goldy shimmery color that you have in your collection will work. And I'm just going to take just a little bit of that and just kind of place it slightly over the top of the white color that we pushed down, Tempera. Not too much, just a little bit, so that I have just a little bit of a shimmer, but not over the top if I just used that by itself. I just want just a little bit. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and take a liner and line my eyes. Even though this is a, you know, kind of summery type of look, I still like a thick liner on my eyes every single day. I feel like if I don't have some kind of a liner or a wing, then my eyes look super small. So for me, it helps to make my eyes look a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to use the tattoo liner in the Made Max Brown from Kat Von D. And if you would like, you can take a eyeliner to fill in any of the gaps that you have up top here on your eyelids, which I always have gaps there. I have pretty big eye, you know, pretty thick waterline here, so I always just take that. That way when my mascara is on, you won't see the pinks of my eye there. So just take an eyeliner if you can do that and just fill it in that line. And I never take it down at the bottom like that, because most of the time while it's drying it will kind of start coming down, and I don't want a lot of that on my eye. Because my face is oily in the T-zone area, I will get eyeliner here because things start to run because I get oily throughout the day there. So the least amount you can put there, the better. I'm just gonna take the Lash Princess from Essence and use that as my mascara today. This is a really nice mascara. If you haven't tried it, you can get it at Ulta for like $3, and it's really similar to It Cosmetics mascara. I can't remember what that one's called. But as you can see, it does a really good job of coating the lashes. The one from It Cosmetics, the Superhero, it's really similar to that. So, and to show you that before I forgot. All right, and that's where I want that to be. I'm gonna go back into the Soft Glam from Anastasia. I'm gonna take just a small little precise brush from Morphe, and it is the M124. It looks like this. It's just a tiny brush. I'm gonna go back into Rustic, which is the brown color we used, and I'm just gonna run that right under my eye here. I always do that after my bottom eyelashes dry, just so that I can see where I want to put it. You can do it before if you like, but it's just, for me, it's a little bit easier to see where to put it there. I'm going to take a little bit of the Cypress Umber, which is just a little bit of the darker brown right next to it. So I want to deepen up that a little bit. All right, and so now that that is all done, you can just pick a lipstick. I'm going to use the one that I just got in my Sephora Play Box from Too Faced and Queen Bee. And as you can see, it's not that much of a change of my own color, which is what I want. I didn't want something too dark. I just wanted something that was kind of there, but not, you know, over the top as far as colors go. And then I'm going to take a gloss as well. And this is the color Topless from L'Oreal. It's Infallible. It's just kind of a gloss. I'm going to just put it right over the top. And then you can spray your face with some Max Fix Plus if you like, to if you have really dry skin, that will help it stay radiant and glowy all day. I do not have really dry skin, so I'll just be spraying with my Urban Decay All Nighter, which I'm almost done with this. And fluff out your hair, whatever you want to do with your hair. As you can tell, I cut my hair. I hope you guys think it's nice. I love it. And that is the finished look. So it's super quick. Like I said, this did take a little bit longer because I'm filming for you, but this is something that takes me like literally 10 minutes in the morning to do. Really quick, nothing too fancy, but it's, you know, still, you still have some makeup on, but it still has a summer feel to it because you're not overdoing it and you're using really neutral colors. And I think it's just a really nice, almost summery look. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any questions about this look, or if you have any concerns, or if you have any tips for me. And I shall talk to you guys sometime within the week. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye bye.